Hey y'all, so welcome back to another Motivational Monday. And right now I am in the midst of exam week, so I need all the motivation I can get. I don't know about you, but I'm stressed. So, like I said in my previous video, this week is called Love Yourself. And I think right now, in this world that's full of hate and just a lot of sad things, especially if you look on social media, everywhere you look is something very sad. So I think we need something to pump us up. So I'm not just going to say love yourself. It's easier said than done, it really is. But it's more than just that. Right now, no one wants to give themselves a chance, but they'll give people that walk all over them a ton of chances. But we do not need to be defined by the people in our lives. That is not our point in this world. Our point is that we have to accept who we are, no matter if no one else accepts us. Sometimes it does have to be us against the world, and sometimes that is the strongest you will ever be when it's just you. So give yourself a chance. Give yourself some time to really just embrace who you are. And I know I struggle with it way too much. As you also saw in the last video, I made a comment about me not looking the best. Those are just the thoughts that I get, and I know that sometimes those thoughts just come in and out, and a lot of times when you say, oh, I hate myself, oh, that's just me, it is a joke, but then there's always a little truth behind every single joke. And this time, this Motivational Monday is going to be a little bit different because this topic is so deep and is so moving that sometimes it's gonna get a little bit dark, but you have to go into the darkness to see the light. So like I said, loving yourself, easier said than done. I struggle with it, a lot of people struggle with it, especially the ones that I surround myself with. And if you're out there and you're struggling with this, hear me out. This one's for everyone out there who has ever had a doubt that they are perfect just the way they are. And I'm going to drop some knowledge on you about one of my favorite sayings. I don't believe anyone is perfect because perfect is boring and no one wants to be perfect. But I do believe we are all perfectly imperfect. Each and every one of us has a quirk. And yeah, someone out there may not enjoy it, but right here, right now, all that matters is that you love who you are, you love your quirk, and the people you surround yourself, they love your quirks. That's all that matters. So I'm going to drop a little quote by Dr. Seuss. Those who matter won't mind, and those who mind don't matter. If someone out there does not like who you are, they are not important in your grand scheme of life. You do not need them, and it's harsh, but the best thing to do is honestly cut them out. You don't need that toxicity in your life. One of my least favorite quotes about loving yourself is that you can't love anybody until you learn how to love yourself. And the reason I don't like it is because how they see it is that if you don't love yourself, then that means you don't know love, but that's not true. If you don't love yourself, it means that you don't see how much you are worth. And that's the only reason that that saying may be true, but I don't like it because of what people mean by it. How it really is that if you don't know what you're worth, then you're never going to know if someone's treating you the way that you should be treated. Everyone out there, everyone listening to this right now, you are so amazing, you are so special, you are so worth everything in life, and you shouldn't have to settle. And if you feel like you're settling, then you need to get out and you need to go and experience it. Give yourself a chance. Give yourself some time to get to know who you really are, because it's so important that you really, really love yourself. So that way, if for whatever reason you're alone for 10 years and it's just you, you'll be happy being with yourself, because the worst thing is when you're stuck with your own thoughts and you're fighting with yourself. You are stuck with you forever. And that sounds a little scary, but no, it shouldn't have to be. And again, I struggle with it too, because those thoughts come in and it's like, I'm really stuck like this with my thoughts for the rest of my life. No, thank you. But it can't be that bad. It doesn't have to be. You're in control of what you think. You're in control of who you are and how you act and how you see yourself. And no one out there gets to tell you who you are. No one out there gets to tell you what you enjoy about yourself or about things in life. You get your say in life. You get to control what you do, who you are, what you like. And no one out there should ever be able to tell you something and have it affect you. But I know it happens because it's happened to me before. So in this talk, I'm going to have a lot of stories. Some of them are going to be about times I did love myself, and some of them are going to be times when I didn't. And I think both are super important because you cannot learn how to love yourself if you don't recognize the times when you really don't. So into a few story times. I'm going to go with stories about when I didn't love myself because, like I said before, you have to see the darkness before you can see the light, because otherwise you won't know what the light really is. So here are some times. It's going to be really short. I'm not going to make some long stories. They're going to be short little times, and I'm just going to kind of skim over them, just so you get an idea of what these stories are going to be like. So, first story, dressing rooms. Oh my gosh, those are a nightmare for me. My body type is so weird because I'm short, but I'm wide, so I can't wear everything, and I have to make sure it's petite, but I have to get a certain size in petite, and it's a mess, and I hate it, and I hate whenever my friends and we go into them, and they're sitting there telling me, you look beautiful, you look amazing, and I don't see it that way. And maybe it's because I've been told so many times before that I'm not beautiful, that I'm fat, that I shouldn't even be showing people what I look like because that's an insult to them. Those words hurt and they made a lasting effect on me. So, just dressing rooms in general, not where I like to be. Especially dress shopping, which is a totally different thing than regular shopping, because you have to make sure you get a dress that fits your waist, that fits your chest, that is long enough, and since I'm so short, it has to be a certain size. And then T-length dresses on me are floor-length dresses. And floor-length dresses on me are so hazardous, I guess that's the best word. But yeah, so that's one part of the time. Also, mornings are difficult. I do have to say mornings. I mean, I guess it's like, it depends what kind of a morning it is, because sometimes it's like, oh wow, I don't feel that bad about myself, wow, I look great. And then some mornings it's like, I look like I got hit by a bus, I need to put makeup on, all this kind of stuff. And then I forget why I do makeup in the first place, which is going to be a story about times I love myself, which sounds contradictory, but it's not. Another time, swimming, swimsuits, gosh, that's horrible. I mean, I don't like beaches already because I have this whole thing with the ocean, which, totally different story, but besides the point, I don't like, this sounds weird, my thighs, I don't like them, and I've made a comment before in my blooper reel, whenever I hit my thighs it makes a clapping noise, and it makes that loud noise, I'm like, no. So, swimming, things like that, I don't like that, because swimsuits are just, oh, they're bad for me. I don't like swimsuits. So, tankinis, those are my forte, those are what I do, that's what I wear, and I love them, they're great. So you can see that I'm laughing and smiling through all these things, but these are things that are my past, and they're things that I have learned how to deal with, and I'm still learning how to deal with, because it's a part of growing, it's a part of living life. But now let's get past all of this dark stuff, and let's move on to some times when I did love myself. And the first thing is makeup. And I know it sounds contradictory because there's this whole stigma that says makeup is hiding how girls really look and it's hiding your features, but makeup done right just insinuates everything about everyone's features, anyone who puts it on. And I don't think that people should have such a hatred for anyone who wears makeup and say that they're hiding what they really look like, because we're not. And I prefer myself with makeup. I think I look more beautiful with makeup, and it makes myself feel good. And whether I do eyeliner or no eyeliner like I'm wearing now, if I can look in the mirror and smile at what I'm seeing, which does not happen often, then I don't see anything wrong with that. And I don't think anyone should see anything wrong with that. Another time I've loved myself is something else that contradicts one of my other stories. Because it's whenever I get dressed up for dances in those dresses that I had mentioned that I don't like to try on. But there's a difference when trying them on and when you're finally all made up and you have your hair done and you're getting ready to go to a dance. And it just makes everything come into the big picture of life. And those are some of the times whenever I feel the most beautiful. And you can actually see two of my pictures, I believe, of my junior prom, which I think is in the beginning, and my senior prom, which is towards the end. I don't really know. Maybe it's in the middle. Whatever. If you want to see what I mean, go look at those, because I do love those pictures, and I really do feel beautiful, and I loved how I looked in those pictures, and I loved myself. And I know all of these things sound materialistic, but they aren't. They just put myself in a mindset that can last me for days or weeks, being in love with myself, which is how we should be. And sometimes it takes that extra step to do it, but it's not all the time. I mean, any kind of thing. For example, these YouTube videos, every single time I upload one and I finish editing it, I love myself, and it's not a narcissistic kind of thing. It's just, I love that I put forth that effort to make something that I know is going to benefit someone out there whenever they may see this. Some other times I love myself is when I'm with my friends and everything. And that's the difference between hanging out with a friend group that just benefits you and they just keep raising you up and they aren't afraid to tell you the honest truth over friends that just tear you down. And whenever you put something on or you're doing something that does not show who you really are, and they just say, oh, that's great, yeah, it's great. That's not real friendship. That's just a yes person. And no one needs a yes person. We need a friend. We need someone who's going to build us up, not tear us down, or not make it to where other people tear us down. Which brings me to social media. Social media is one of the best and worst things that has ever happened in this world. It's the best. You get to connect with your friends, and you get to make new friends online that a lot of times you're going through the same things you are. But it's the worst, because whatever you put out there, it's open to fair comment, and people will say horrible things, and it may be a troll, and if it's an anonymous site, it could very well be one of your closest friends, and you don't know it. For example, they have this app, and I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's this Sarah app or whatever. Anyway, I had it for, I think, 3 days, and I took it down after those 3 days because I put it up there on my Snapchat, and it was open for fair comment, I will say, but on the site it does say leave constructive criticism. Besides the point, fair comment. I got some hateful, horrible, ugly comments that some of them were just not well thought out. I don't want to say stupid because that's calling a person stupid. That's not right. But they weren't well thought out, and they were just petty. But then some of the things they did say, it really did strike a nerve, because it's something that I have struggled with, and that's how I know that the person did know who I was on a personal level, because they knew that these things were going to hurt me. And they did, and they succeeded. And honestly, I just deleted it after, I think, the second one, where they said all these things they hated about me, and then all of a sudden they put something that they wanted me to continue to do as if they controlled any aspect of my life. And honestly, I just deleted it, and I have not looked back. And all of those kind of apps and those kind of sites, and I'm not bashing the site. The site's a wonderful thing if it's used for what it was supposed to be used for. You should go on there and you should comment these great things about people you may not talk to, people you want to talk to, people you always talk to. Comment something that builds them up. For no reason should anyone try to tear you down. And if you're one of the ones that leaves troll comments and leaves anonymous comments, at least sign your name. If you're going to say it, own up to it, and maybe not put it out on a site like that. Put it out to them personally. And if you want to tell them something that you personally don't like, then have that courage to tell them to their face. You don't have to be ugly about it. If you let them know, then they may just say, hey, like, look, if you don't like it, don't look at it. That's actually one of the things I told them, because their comments were about my pictures I post and things like that. And I just said, you know, if you don't like them, block me, because if I find out who you are, I'm going to block you too. I don't need that kind of hatred in my life. I've come a long way, and I know a lot of people out there have. You come from this place, a lot of people come from this place of just darkness, and you don't like yourself, and you grow, and you can change yourself in ways that you feel more powerful, and that's okay. But if you're changing yourself because someone told you to, rethink what you're doing. If you're changing your hair, and you've always wanted to change your hair, but you're doing it in some way that someone told you to do, no. Rethink it, do it the way you've always wanted to do it. Because afterwards you're just gonna feel so powerful, and it's great, and it's awesome, and it's relaxing, and it's so relieving to know that you were in that control. And it shouldn't have to come from a place of you've lost all control and now you're gaining it back by changing your hair, changing what you wear, things like that. It should not be like that. Stop the process before it becomes a problem. So I have some tips for anyone out there who is struggling with social media, and it does come from a personal experience. So tip number 1, please, 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 please delete the app. You don't need it. If you want to keep Instagram because you have all your pictures on there, that is fine. I'll have a tip for that later. But for all of those little comment apps, delete them. You don't need them. You don't need to hear what people think about you. Trust me, all that matters is what you think about you and what your close friends and what your family thinks about you. And that's only to a certain extent. No one should be in control of your life. As long as you love you, that is all that matters. You do not need anyone else's approval in this life. Tip number 2, turn all your notifications off. Trust me on this one. Believe me, this helps. It helps you gain control of your phone again. Right now, our phones are in control of us. Even I'm guilty of it sometimes, which is why I'm about to turn off all my notifications again. Because it becomes stressful, especially if you see notification pop up from someone who doesn't talk to you, or you know that has talked about you before. When you see their notification pop up, your heart sinks, and that shouldn't happen. For no reason should someone have that much power over you, so turn them off. You can do it only for a month if you really need to, but at least that long, at least a month, because you gain that control. You're in control of when you look at your social media, you're in control of what social media you look at. Some you'll even realize you don't even use, so you're gonna wonder, why do you even have it? And those are my 2 tips. I had to do it, and again, for a while, it didn't seem worth it because I felt I was out of the loop. But then I was happier, I got to sleep on time, I had a working sleep schedule again. I could get maybe 6 hours, or typically I get 3 to 4, which is happening again, and that should not be how it is. Nothing should have that much control over our lives that we lose sleep over it. So delete it. Delete everything. It does not matter. You won't be out of the loop. and you'll love yourself and you'll be so much happier when you do it. Alright, before my last thought, here's my challenge. This is gonna work, believe me. Every morning, every night, I want you to do this. It's gonna help. Even if you don't stick to it all week, do it for at least 3 days. It'll boost you up. It's gonna start your day off right and end your day off right, and that's all that matters. Every morning, say 3 things you love about yourself in general. Just in general. And at night, say 3 things that you love about yourself from that day. So maybe you made an A on a test that you didn't think you were going to pass. Or maybe you said something nice to someone as you were walking by. Put that in there. You're going to feel so good about yourself. And sometimes we do have to be a little bit conceited, because that's how we learn to love ourselves, is by talking ourselves up. And that's all that matters. All that matters is how you see yourself. So here's my last thought. This is the revelation I talked about in my previous video, and it even left me a little struck for a second. So many times we're willing to just forgive anyone that has hurt us just because we really want their approval in our lives. But we don't even give ourselves a second chance. So many of us, and I'm guilty of it too, has decided that we're gonna hate ourselves. We're just not gonna like ourselves, and we're not worth it. And we don't even know who we really are. I know I can speak for myself when I say I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm meant to do. I don't know if I have a purpose or even what that purpose could be. And I've decided that I'm not worth it, and I want to change that, and I'm starting to change it now. But I don't see why it happened that way. I don't know why I had that thought anyway. So go out there, learn who you are, love who you are, because you are wonderful, you are worth it, you are so worthy of love, and no one can take that away from you. Give yourself another chance. Give yourself 5 million other chances, because you deserve it. And even if someone will never give you another chance, they are not deserving of you. You need to be the best you can ever be. And do it for yourself, not for anyone else. So that's my last thought. I know it got a little bit deep, but this topic had to. And there are going to be some more topics out there that do get deep. And that's okay, because that's what life is about. So like this video and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'll see you in the next video next Monday. Bye!